8:39 on this Wednesday. Welcome to the Hometown Morning Show with Tori and Kyle. And boy, you are in for a treat. We have Andrew Menjivar is in right now. Good morning, Menji. How are you?
Good morning, Tori.
I'm trying to be so professional calling you Andrew.
I know. What is this? This feels foreign to me.
What is this, Menji? But we have such great special guests in studio who you have already had the pleasure of interviewing that we thought, you know what? You're the pro. You've got some inside scoop, so let's just get into it. Who do we have in studio today?
All right, so you have seen him swinging through the vines of Endor, trying to take down an evil galactic empire.
What?
As an Ewok, it's Kevin Thompson, and the author of his new memoir, My Journey to Endor, Tracey Thompson.
Excellent. Welcome, guys. Welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Well, good to be here.
So, I'm just going to start off flat out by saying I feel like Star Wars right now is having a whole new renaissance, and I don't think there's enough Ewoks in there.
No, not yet, because I think they're afraid if they go back to Endor, we may eat them. We may eat the heroes.
So thanks for coming in, taking a moment to talk about the new book. It chronicles your experience on Return of the Jedi. So after all this time, the fan conventions, the experiences, this new renaissance, why right now to actually release the book and tell the story again?
It was during COVID where Hollywood was shut down and we weren't working, going into studios and things. So Kevin has always told his stories through in the grocery store or whoever he met when he would see a child with a Star Wars T-shirt. So we decided for a memoir for our son to write a book about Kevin's experiences 40 years ago when he was 22 years old. He did all the stunts, and it was to be recognized. The Ewoks weren't recognized, of course, in their outfits, and then in the credits, it wasn't as publicized as some of the other cast members.
As like a stunt Ewok, all the Ewoks were lumped in together. So an Ewok who had done one day of work I got the same credit as, and I'm in 90% of the battle scenes. I take out all 3 ATSTs. I'm the one who swings into the village. I take out the stormtroopers off the logs. I'm just basically all over the place.
Yeah, and so you are already mentioning this right now. You are a stunt man. So that's the one thing. I feel like the story of how Star Wars was made has been told by some of the higher executives, but this is told from the perspective of a stunt man. And that is the most interesting thing because you have to physically embody not only the character, but all of the stunts being rigged up to cranes and have to deal with explosions and things like that. Could you tell me a little bit about some of the experiences without giving too much of the book away?
Well, one thing of doing something as just a human and doing a stunt is quite difficult. Now try doing that same thing in an Ewok outfit, which is 2 inches of foam from your wrist to your ankles, latex feet and gloves, and a latex mask with plastic eyes that fogs up so you cannot see. And now do that stunt while there are explosions going on, 20-foot pieces of redwood flying by, black powder bombs, and Ewoks and stormtroopers trying not to run into each other, plus 6-foot ferns, which are called Furnus gigantus.
And you had a little bit of experience prior to this. I went down the rabbit hole here, and I learned that you were in the Hollywood Shorties. And that, just tell me a little bit, give me a little context of what is the Hollywood Shorties.
The Hollywood Shorties were the smallest professional basketball and baseball teams in the world. We had members from 3'6" to 4'10", and we played basketball and baseball. It started by Billy Barty, the Hollywood actor who has passed on, but we played for 40 years, and I had a 30-year career on the Hollywood Shorties, and we were some of the most athletic little people in the world playing on this team.
Yeah, I like I said, I went down the rabbit hole. I saw a whole documentary.
We played a few times at Valencia High School.
Yeah, so Hollywood Shorties, definitely look them up. You're going to see there's not just Kevin. There's a whole bunch of other really well-known little people in the Hollywood shorties as well. And so you mentioned this already. The Ewok costumes were not built for mobility.
No. And Tracey brings that out with her writing of how it's not only were they cumbersome, they were very hot.
Well, when we were writing the book, Kevin would talk about where they were attacking or pretending to attack the ATST with ropes. And what they did was a tug-of-war with some of the average-sized stuntmen. So they were on the other side, and then the
trying
Ewoks
to trip the ATST.
So they were in dirt, and so I kept asking Kevin, well, what did it feel like? What did it taste like? The dirt? There was a lot of dirt up in Northern California where you guys filmed in the Redwoods, and then in the village scenes, those were filmed in London, England area, and those were in indoor conditions with the air conditioning and all those things. So
on a stage, and they had they got tea time.
So the American actors were the ones that filmed up in Northern California in the outside elements.
And in the book, you also mention just how secretive this entire project. Of course, Star Wars was one of the biggest movies of its era. It still is. But how secretive this whole process was. I'm just wondering, how do you even audition to be an Ewok?
Well, I didn't know what I was auditioning for. They didn't tell me the project, and they didn't tell me the role. They just explained lightly what the character was that I was auditioning for, and then somebody said, "Is this Star Wars?" And they said, "No, this is a standalone, kind of like what we have now with the standalone movies." And they said, "No, it might be some of the Star Wars people, and you might think of it, but it's not Revenge of the Jedi." And so I didn't know that I was actually working on Revenge of the Jedi till I got to England and onto the set, because they brought me to England, to London, to redo the costumes and try and make it more of a stunt costume, to find out for costume fittings and things. And so when I saw Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, I'm like, all right, wait a minute. I think I know what movie I'm on here.
And I love that you said Revenge of the Jedi.
That's what it was.
The original title right there.
Yes.
Revenge of the Jedi. But you have not just been in Star Wars. You've been in a bunch of cult classic films. Well, now considered cult classic films. You are now embedded in pop culture. Could you tell me just a little bit of some of these characters that you've also played?
Well, my very first line was in a little movie called Blade Runner. Home again, jiggity jig. Good evening, JF. I also was in Garbage Pail Kids. I was Chet from Weird Science. I was in Spaced Invaders, Stupid Martians Invading Earth. Let's see, some other ones. I was in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the OG. I was what's that character? Quagmire. I saved the day for these guys. They've all lost their abilities of what to do, and I helped them get through it. And quite a few others. I've been doing this crazy profession for over 40 years. So it's been a fun time. It's a tough time. It's not always fun and games, but like Return of the Jedi and how Tracey writes on the book, it's not glamorous. Sometimes Hollywood is dirty, sticky, and messy.
Yeah. And you're still active.
Yes, sir.
In film and television.
I have a couple of indie projects coming out that I can't talk about because I signed up the thing. But I do have a thing coming out on Peacock called Mrs. Davis. It'll premiere in April.
And still doing stunt work.
Oh, yeah.
So has there ever been a stunt that is so crazy you just said no? That no way?
Did I?
I don't think so. You pretty much live up to the challenge. It's interesting because people with dwarfism, you don't look at a little person and think, oh, he's a stuntman at 4'5". So Kevin was very active, and he was in his gymnastic team, and you were in a wrestling team, and then plus the Hollywood Shorties. That when he was 11 years old, he joined that team with adult men. So looking at a person with dwarfism, you don't think of as a stuntman, but he was capable. That's kind of what's nice about the book. It's a hero's journey. It was the first time Kevin was away from home, joining this crew that he wasn't even sure what he was filming, except being in a furry suit. So he accomplished a lot through the film. He grew up a lot. So it's a neat, inspirational book that tells about anybody can do anything if they set their mind to it.
Yeah, and one of the things that we talked about beforehand in a previous interview is there's a quote that stuck with me, and I absolutely love it, is I've played a lot of aliens, but I would love to play human.
Correct. I would love to just play human because we have been living in this town for 30 years and people have seen us around. Tracey was one of the heads of the PTA at school, and just those types of parts on TV would really be nice, just to play a dad or a mom or, a shopkeeper or, just anybody human, which would be nice. I've played, like I said, a lot of aliens, a lot of critter. I've been a critter. I've been a creep. I've been all sorts of different things. I just like to play a dad.
Yeah. So I feel like I'd be disowned if I didn't mention this. The Ewok suit. Have you seen it? Do you have it? What's going on with the Ewok suit?
The Ewok suit is hot. I've hung it up, but hey, I'll put it back on again. Lucas owns those things. I did not get to take those home. No.
No, you were given the Ewok feet by the wardrobe because the shoes were too small. So we do have shrunk. Ewok feet in our closet.
Yeah, they shrank because of so much sweat. If you can imagine losing at least 5 to 10 pounds in sweat and going right into your shoes. That's where and so after lunch you would put those feet back on and it would just be lovely, kind of like putting on an old bathing suit at like 9 at night. But it's not chlorine water, it's wet.
Yeah. So I want to go back to some of the representation of little people. I also, another quote that kind of stuck out to me last time we spoke was you mentioned that a lot of the parts are kind of being lost, the roles being lost to CGI.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, a lot of people are being recognized for special effects and CGI, but what is happening to our community of people with dwarfism, you see in Snow White and the Huntsman, you see it in The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings, where little people are being replaced by average-sized actors.
Dwarves are not played by dwarves.
Right. So CGI is replacing that for people with dwarfism actors.
Disney has Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs coming out, and there are no little people playing the Seven Dwarfs, so it should be Snow White and the Seven CGIs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
but it's true.
It is true, and it's happening even with like special effects you see on TV or in film. That now the pyrotechnics is more CGI than actual pyrotechnics. It's you can kind of tell on screen that these are being replaced by special effects.
Right,
CGI.
and also there's what is called a volume. I mean, CGI is really amazing. A volume it's all video screens all around, so set dressers are almost being replaced too. You as the camera projects, we're not on many times in like Mandalorian, you see a foreign planet. That's on a soundstage, and they haven't gone anywhere, and they're just riding little like mechanical bulls almost, which are making as horses, and you see the whole background is just man-made or machine-made.
Yeah, I think speaking about Lord of the Rings, I think I remember seeing a behind the scenes of Ian McKellen just losing it because he's on a green screen and he's not acting against anyone. It's just against nothing.
Yeah, it makes it difficult for the actors. Who was the actor that played Dobby or with the
Oh, he's just what was in Endor.
They're not acting with another actor.
He has played Gollum, and he's done many of those different characters.
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis,
There
yes.
you go.
There it
That's
is.
it. Yeah.
Andy Serkis, who's basically plays the whole thing in a green screen. He's very good.
Yeah, and so Tracey, you mentioned you do some charity work as well. I would love to hear a little bit more about that.
Yes, what I do is I am the liaison for children with dwarfism that aren't able to go to a regular camp with their friends. And right here locally up at Lake Hughes, Paul Newman started a camp called The Painted Turtle. And it's for kids. I get kids with dwarfism from all over the world that can come to this camp. So I fundraise for that. And then I do also Little People of America. We volunteer for that.
All right, and so I'm going to circle this right back to the book here. What do you hope somebody reading this gets out of your book?
For me, I hope that people see that you can do anything you set your mind to, and that there were actually live humans playing Ewoks, and that they get recognized for their hard work.
Yeah, Kevin?
Well, many times people thought the Ewoks were all British, and that there wasn't an American set and a British set. The British were in the village, and they only did 7 days in the village. And the Americans did 5 weeks of very hard stunts. We were, a half a mile from the outhouse. It was a very tough time to work on this. And so that people realized that there was a lot of hard work gone into the Ewok Endor battle scenes.
Yeah, well, Kevin, Tracey, it's been amazing talking to you guys both. You can get My Journey to Endor on Amazon, Kindle, or wherever you get your books. And now it's time for us to go to a journey to a galaxy far, far away.
Where is that? Back to
back to our commercials. Back to KHTS.
I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you to the three of you, Andrew, Menji, for doing this interview, and thank you both for coming in and just shedding some light on your journey, both of you. And you can read all about it in My Journey to Endor. I've learned so much in this interview. Thank you for talking about the CGI, the computer generated, which is indeed taking some jobs away from Hollywood, and the lack of diversity, jobs for you as a little person who just wants to play a dad. So we're hoping with this interview, hello, anyone listening, that maybe we can make a difference and open some ears and eyes in Hollywood. The time is right, and you guys are ready. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Live and local.